Are you forgetting how you held the Senate hostage? I may not be capturing Zero, but you are going to prison.
Well, now that you mention it, the Separatists are paying 1,000,000 credits a head for a Jedi.
Michael Bannon, fellow nerds, welcome to the Fellowship of the Nerds. I am your host, as always, Luke Skywalker, and today I bring you a very interesting review. This is a review that you probably would have, you would have guessed it by the title of the video, duh. But you would probably recognize this. This is from Tatooine, and this character has a very, very, very serious connection to Tatooine, one that for years, it was only a fan theory until Lucasfilm and brought it into the fold, into canon. And of course, I am talking about Quinlan Vos, because this is Damon Saber's amazing rotating Kyber Crystal, exposed Kyber Crystal lightsaber. This is a very, very interesting lightsaber, I have to admit. There has been two versions of this lightsaber, and I'll talk about them a little bit more in detail later on the video. But this is one that I definitely wanted to have because Quinlan, as we knew, we saw when the Phantom Menace came out that there was a character in the background, and a lot of people back in the day started theorizing, oh yeah, that's a Jedi, that's a Jedi. And eventually that made it into canon, and that was Quinlan Vos, and he was a Jedi that was undercover for something entirely different. So he couldn't help Qui-Gon because he couldn't blow his cover. But it's a very, very interesting character. It's a character that's connected to Asajj Ventress, because if you've read the novels and you've seen part of it on Tales on the Underworld, Asajj and him end up having a relationship, and he's there when he dies. It's very, very interesting because Quinlan does have a interesting connection with Obi-Wan Kenobi, to the point where in the Kenobi series, Obi-Wan, spoiler alert if you haven't watched the Kenobi series, Obi-Wan ends up in a location, I'm not going to tell you which one, but he ends up in a location and he realizes that Quinlan had been at that location. So it's an actual mention in live action of the character. And, you know, they're always together. And when Asajj dies and they take her body back to Dathomir, obviously they wouldn't know that she was going to be revived, but they leave her body in Dathomir to try to honor, you know, where she was from and her creed, I guess, for lack of a better term, and probably as her wishes to be buried there. And Obi-Wan takes her with Quinlan, and obviously, you know, Quinlan says his goodbye to her, and Obi-Wan is very aware of what's going on, but like, you know, which always begs the question that would Obi-Wan have accepted Anakin's relationship if he had known in full, you know, like 100% for sure? We will never know, but there we are. Let's open this one up and check this out, because this is a lightsaber that's very, very cool. Sorry for that long exposition of lore, but let's check this one out, because this one is going to be cool.
Force be with you, Padawan.
So this time around, Damon Sabers have given us a simple presentation, but yet very efficient. So we have our Profi Hilt, very lovely. We got our charging cable, retention screws, and Allen key, and we also gotten this time around a lovely necklace. This is Anakin Skywalker's, and you can see there the necklace for it. All around, really great, sleek presentation. And here it is, the amazing saber with the exposed Kyber that rotates display plug, everything. It's a 1-button configuration and it takes 1-inch blade, which is something that I know that will be very important for a lot of people. It takes 2 retention screws right here. I wish they were black because they will disguise themselves better, but there we are. But it's a very, very interesting lightsaber. I can tell you already from now, before we do anything else, that you look at that. That is very, very, very cool. Now there was a first version of this where this color was dark and this was loud as hell. Now this, I'll just bring it here. Yes, you hear it, but it's not like super annoying or anything like that. But the first one was screechy and it was terrible. So they quickly fixed this LGT / Sabers, and this one is pretty cool. So there is that. If you're going to buy this lightsaber, right from the start, we'll tell you, get the one where this color is golden, because if you get the darker one, you're going to get a squeaker. So, and you don't want that. Well, other than that, it's a very, very cool lightsaber. So, what do you say if we test this out in the dark so I can show you what it looks like, the blade, when it turns on and everything, and we'll bring it back and I'll talk to you a bit more about the Soundfonts and the pros and cons of it.
Quinlan Vos.
Okay, well, that is a very interesting weapon. Obviously, the fact that we have an exposed rotating crystal chamber, it's on its own, like, it will already make it a very unique and stand out lightsaber in its own right. So obviously out in the dark, because you can see this and this, it just stands out automatically. So there is that. But I think overall, this is again, it's because this is a very interesting character to begin with. That on its own right, this is interesting. So now that we brought it back inside, again, I'm going to start off with the sound font that we just heard, which is Quinlan Vos sound font.
Quinlan was here.
I'm going to try to not get copyrighted here, but the fact that these bring out their music and stuff, it's something that to me is always a nice addition. This, if I recall correctly, is from The Mandalorian.
You and I will be working much more closely from now on.
You obviously know this one.
Good for nothing,
Very cool.
Jedi. Fulfill your destiny.
Obviously very cool.
You will be Empress.
I want to guess that this one's gonna have the same music. No, I've been wrong. I am wrong. Now I want you to look at, like, because it has this effect on the blade. Look at the crystal here. Tell me that isn't cool.
You have hate, you have anger, but you don't use it. Master Yoda. Count Dooku. Oh, I have a bad feeling about this. Hello there.
Ah, Battle of the Heroes. This is really cool. There's one. I can't quite decide if I like this sound font or not.
Darkness. Your destiny lies with me.
This one I definitely got.
The Force is with you, young Skywalker. But you are not a Jedi yet. You are no Jedi!
Obviously, take no substitutions.
For the General, to me she is royalty. You have never fought anyone like me. I am Revan.
Revan Jedi.
The dark side.
Star Killer.
Master.
I am no Jedi.
So, Alien Skull.
Codex of Light. Cyber Terror. Dark Ages. Hatred.
These, as I said on other videos, these are original from LGT, but they're and generic. But there are some that are, even though they're generic, they're actually characters.
Idol.
So,
Serenity. The Champion.
for example, Mace Windu. So they just don't have the sound. But yeah,
The Dark Lord
they're supposed to be.
Revisited.
I also like the fact that this, whenever you get a font that sort of activates a bit, it activates the crystal as well for a second. So very
The
interesting.
Learner. The Second. The Teacher. Whispers of Power. I am Sailor Moon!
Now this one is very interesting because even though I hate this sound font, I don't like it. Look at this. That is super cool. Like that is really like, you know, it's really amazing to me. And then we turn it off. Really something.
Spectrum.
And then this starts. This is gonna go to battery, and it starts. This is the first font, which is again very generic for OGT/Demon Sabers, which is.
We know you found it. And now you're going to give it to the First Order.
Which is, you know, a very good solid font to be fair. Very interesting music over there. That's the scene from the beginning of Force Awakens. That's kind of cool. Very nice.
The Dark Sword.
I'm not entirely sure why the Darksaber will have Empire Strikes Back music, but and we're back to Quinlan. So overall, this is a very, very interesting lightsaber, just on the basis of, you know, the rotating Kyber Crystal exposed chamber. Obviously, you want to get this one, which is the second version that Demon Sabers released, because the first one, the one that is dark, is the one that this is a lot noisier than this. I find this to be quiet, so, you know, like once you have this on. Sure, does this sound? Of course, this is not. It does make a sound. I'd be really impressed if it didn't. But like as I'm going around, am I thinking, oh my god, I'm hearing no. So there's that. Where the first one, yeah, because the first one was screeching and apparently it was a mess. So cons to this, I mean, if you want to call it con, that is not 100% silent, but again, I'd be really, really shocked if it was completely silent. The fact that it doesn't come with sound from for the character that I had to install it, that is a down, and that's sort of a pet peeve of mine, that, you know, sabers that don't have character, and it's something that I don't quite understand, because I mean, LGT, Demon Saber, these are big companies, like, and they obviously know that they're releasing something for a character, so don't really understand why, if say for example you're doing I don't know, Anakin, right? If you're doing an Anakin, why would you want to start with Kylo Ren? You should start with Anakin, especially if this is fun that is already on the saber. If it's not like this one, that this one did not have any Quinlan, okay, maybe, sure, right. But like, if you already have it, just make that be your first. So that's definitely a con for me. The fact that it's a one button, it is a con for me, but it might not be a con for you. You might be a person that is quite happy with one button or two buttons. I prefer two buttons. So it's a down for me, but doesn't necessarily mean that's going to be a down for you. I'm sort of splitting hairs there. Pros, it's not a super expensive lightsaber by any means. But I would say is a lightsaber that is not very common out there. I mean, it's not as strange as, say, lightsabers like Satire Cree or, you know, Cordova, you know, the sabers from Jedi Survivor game that are not that common. But it's not as common as, say, you know, an Anakin, you know, Graflex or Vader, that sort of stuff. It is a bit niche. So, and I don't want to say that's a con or a pro. It's just a fact. It's what it is. But because it's not a lightsaber that's going to set you back that much. I mean, you're talking that this is a lightsaber that you should be able to get it for under £300. We definitely got that for less, thanks to a good offer. But yeah, it's not a lightsaber that you're going to struggle, if you will. Especially considering that this is a Profi. You're not going to struggle to, like, you know, it's not, say, as expensive as, for example, or Ray from KR Sabers, but then again, when you're buying KR Sabers, you know that you're buying, you know, royalty lightsaber, so there is that. But it is a lightsaber. I do think that is affordable for what it is, and in that regard, I would say that, you know, when I put it all together, it is a lightsaber that we would recommend. Now, do have in mind one thing though. If you're getting this just for the explicit purpose of, oh, I just want something with exposed saber that rotates, I do think that there are other options out there, and there are options out there that have even cooler rotating exposed sabers. I know for a fact that there is an Anakin called Nightfall that has like the exposed Kyber, like, you know, it's like broken here. There are people that hate that saber. There are people that love that saber. I don't know which one you would be, but, you know, there are options out there with sabers that are more significant to Star Wars, such as, you know, Anakin Skywalker, that will have that option. And there are lightsabers also out there that will cost a lot more, that will have rotating Kybers and stuff. I'm thinking stuff that's, you know, Goth 3D print that are incredibly expensive. There'll be also out there sabers that will have Kybers that will be cheaper, and we will be reviewing some of those in the future in the channel, so stick around for those. But yeah, so you will have options out there. If you're only buying this because of this, just know that there will be more out there, so you don't necessarily have to only buy this one because of that. But other than that, like I said, I recommend Saber, a very nice lightsaber, and one that, if you get it, I would love to hear what you think about it. If you're gonna get it and you want to look at for Soundfonts, remember that we have the sound font that we use here, but you'll find, I seem to recall off the top of my head, there were like at least 3 different options out there that you'll have, and I'll put them on the description, so you know exactly which ones are available, broadly speaking, if you want to get this saber. Because I do think when you get a lightsaber that's from a character, you should have the sound font of the character in the lightsaber. That's just my personal opinion. It doesn't have to be yours. It doesn't have to be a pro or a con for you. But if you don't have it, for me, it is a con. So, having said that, I hope that you've enjoyed this review. I hope that you find it useful. If you have, please leave a like, leave a comment for the algorithm, and consider subscribing if you're not subscribing. And if you're already a subscriber, thank you very much for being part of the Fellowship. It means a lot to me and to the people that help making these silly videos. So thank you for that. Until the next time, nerds, I've been your host, Luke Skywalker. Remember, the Force will be with you always. Remember to live long and prosper, and may the odds be ever in your favor, Melanin. See you around, nerds.